Just us. Just this place. That was my idea. A day without words. I wrote it on a piece of paper this morning while you were driving the camper and put it on your lap. Today is a day without words. Just touches. Agree? You read it. You didn't take your eyes off the road. Then you took my hand and squeezed it. Once. Hard. Agree. We drove inland, away from the coast. Florida is different here. Thick, green, alive. Forests that never end. Narrow roads between trees where branches touch at the top and form a tunnel of leaves and light. You turned onto a dirt road. I looked questioningly. You just nodded ahead. You'll see. I learned to trust that nod. We drove for another 20 minutes. The road became narrower, the trees thicker, and suddenly you stopped the camper, got out. He opened my door and held out his hand. I took it. We walked through the trees, not long, about 5 minutes, and I heard it before I saw it. A waterfall. Not big, but so beautiful. The water fell from a ledge, white, noisy, with that sound that fills everything around and at the same time soothes. Below, a small lake, fresh, dark green, surrounded by trees on all sides. On one side, an open clearing where the sun fell directly and the grass was bright green and warm. A place that seemed unassuming, as if no one but us knew it existed. I turned to you. You looked at me with that expression that meant, I found this for you. I touched your cheek, a thank you without words. You turned your head and pressed my palm to your face. You closed your eyes for a second. We spread out on the lawn, towels on the grass, the sun above, warm, lazy, the sound of the waterfall nearby, even, soothing. I lay on my back and looked at the sky through the leaves. Sunspots moved in the wind, golden, changing. A bird was singing somewhere. The water was rustling. You lay next to me, close. Our hands were touching, then you turned on your side and just looked at me. I felt your gaze, physically, like a touch. I turned my head. You studied my face, slowly, from forehead to chin. I lay and looked at you in return, at the way the sun fell on your face, at that little wrinkle near your eye, at your lips that were slightly parted. You reached out and ran your finger along my cheek, barely touching, along my jawline, along my neck, down to my collarbone. I felt my breathing change. It became deeper, slower. Your fingers stopped on my collarbone and just lay there, felt my pulse. I knew what he felt because my pulse quickened from one finger, from one touch. We entered the water in the afternoon, cool. After the heat of the meadow, it seemed cold at first. I entered slowly, up to my knees, up to my waist. You were already swimming. I saw you moving underwater, confidently, without haste. I dove in. The underwater world of the freshwater lake, darker than the ocean, softer. The silence was different, deep, without salt. I swam and felt the water on my skin, every centimeter of my body in this coolness. You swam up from below, suddenly grabbed my hand and pulled me to the surface. We emerged together, face to face, water in my hair, laughter without a sound. You held me, hands on my waist, feet barely reaching the bottom. I held you, hands on my shoulders. We looked at each other, water all around. A waterfall nearby. Its sprays flew towards us. The sun above. You slowly pulled me closer. I felt the warmth of your body despite the coolness of the water. Every point where we touched burned. I looked at your lips. You leaned in. That kiss in the water, I will never forget it. Sweet from the fresh water, warm from you. I felt something inside completely let go. That last tension, that last control. My head became empty, in a good way. No thoughts, no plans, no tomorrow. Only your lips, only water around, only this moment. I pressed closer. I felt your body completely. Your hands on my back, strong, confident, my fingers in your wet hair. The kiss deepened, and I felt that fire that starts somewhere low and goes up in waves. The one that doesn't ask permission. The one that flares up between us. You broke away. For a second, looked at me. In your eyes, that dark, deep one that I know. The one that means that your thoughts have turned off too. That you don't need anything else right now except me. I ran my fingers along your neck. I felt the muscle tense. On your shoulder, hard, warm, with a nail lightly along your collarbone. You exhaled, pressed me even closer. In the meadow under the sun, after the water, the skin felt different. You lay next to me and I studied you, as I always wanted, slowly, without rushing. Every detail, that stubble that was darker on his chin, those shoulders that had become broader after months of training, that line from his neck to his chest where his skin was darker than the Florida sun. I ran my fingers over you and felt you, tender, warm, mine. You lay with your eyes closed and I knew you weren't asleep. You felt my every touch just as I felt yours. Every movement of my fingers across your skin was like a word, like a sentence, like a confession. I leaned over and touched my lips to your shoulder, to your neck, to the corner of your jaw. You opened your eyes. You looked at me from below with a dark, deep gaze that takes my breath away even now, even after everything that had happened between us. You reached out and ran your hand through my hair, from my forehead to the back, slowly, repeated. And I realized you were also studying me. You also remembered. You also wanted every detail, every centimeter. We stayed in that clearing until evening. There wasn't a single word between us all day, but there was everything between us. Kisses that started gently and grew hotter. Touches that spoke louder than any words. That moment when the head completely turns off and only the body and desire remain. And that cupcake that baked by itself on that sunny meadow by the waterfall, or in that fresh water, in that silence that was louder than any sound, was the most passionate and the most tender at the same time. Without words, just us. Just this place that seemed undemanding and turned out to be ours. Returning to the camper van, already at dusk, the grass underfoot wet from the evening dew, you took my hand. We walked silently between the trees. The sky above us was darkening, the first stars, that blue color that happens between day and night. You stopped near the camper van. You turned to me. "Thank you," you said quietly. The first words of the whole day. I looked at you. "For what?" "For coming up with this day," you said. I heard you differently today, and it was incredible. I leaned against you, with my forehead to his chest. He hugged me, tightly, securely. The stars above us, the waterfall can still be heard from afar, and that silence, ours, warm, complete. Dear listener, try one day without words. You will be surprised how much you can say with a touch, with a look, simply being close and breathing in the same rhythm. Words are beautiful, but what is between them, sometimes the most important thing. Sometimes you can touch the soul through the body. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Here are sensory stories about us until the next episode.